Hi everyone, Serena B here. Welcome back to my channel and welcome if you're new. So today I have a very fun video for you. Today we're going to be making a Valentine's Day themed junk journal. So let's get started. I pulled together the items that I want to use and I'm going to be using my Love Bites collection, well just this piece of paper and some of the embellishments. And mostly I'm going to be using my Spooky Love collection that I designed for Valloween last year. So I pulled out some of the papers I want to use. So let me just show you the little mini kit that I put together and then we'll get started. So as I mentioned, this is one of my favorite pattern papers from Love Bites. So I have to make sure I include it, the little vampire fangs. And then I thought this would make a really fun little page. And this is just a kit of items. I'm not sure if I'll use every single thing I have here, but it's definitely going to be for inspiration as well. This one is double-sided, so I thought maybe I can include this pattern. I have this one as well, so I'm not quite sure. I even have this cut apart. I like this one as well, and these are the cut aparts for Love Bites. I think I want to use this one for sure in my junk journal. So those are the pattern papers. Now the actual album, I'm going to be using this purple file folder because it has like I don't know what they're called, the proper term for this, but because there's like ridges and you can kind of customize the size, I'm going to be using this as my cover. And then I also have here just some journaling cards. These are scraps and some word cut aparts. Then I have just some journaling cards. I definitely want to make sure I use Nosferatu because the movie that just came out recently. So I have two variations of Nosferatu. I have Freddy Krueger. I have this journaling card that I added glitter to, so I'm definitely going to try and incorporate this. And this one as well has glitter. Little ghosty, so cute. I love you more than Halloween. Eyeballs. I feel it in my bones. You'll always be my final girl. I definitely want to incorporate these somehow. My Spooky Valentine. And then this is another version of this card. I'm not sure if I want to use the blue or the pink, but if I do use the pink, I'm going to add some glitter to it as well. So these are the cards. These are the papers. And then I also have just some scraps, the die cuts from Love Bites, and then I have just sort of organized the die cuts from Spooky Love a little further into little compartments. So now I have everything here. Spooky Love is my biggest collection I've ever designed with over 200 something items or more. I don't remember the total, but there's a lot of items. It's the biggest collection I designed, like I said, so there's a lot of die cuts and goodies to play with. So next I'm going to show you the different vintage and antique items that I'm going to be using in this journal. So let's start with here. I just pulled out some things and I still have other stuff in my stash as well. I can grab from my stash if I need to. So I have this scrap piece of vintage or antique piano music paper. I'm going to try and incorporate this as a page. I also have two music note paper here as well. This one's more aged and more delicate. So this is a vintage book page and the book title is A Song for Love and in French obviously. So I had done some embossing here, so I pulled this out as well to maybe use. This one has nothing to do with love, but it's very old and aged, so I thought maybe I can use that. This one is buttery soft vintage as well, just like a book dictionary page. This is from an antique 1800s vintage book, so definitely want to include that. Book pages from Dracula and Frankenstein. So I have this version of Dracula, Frankenstein. I'm not sure if I want to, I was trying to find like pages that talk about love and Elizabeth. And this one says here, Felix had fallen in love with the merchant's daughter, so I thought I can use that. And this one has a picture of Elizabeth, so I thought maybe that could be a fun page. We'll see. This is another Frankenstein, Dracula, and then I have a page from Romeo and Juliet. So, and then for vintage ephemera and other little things like that, I have these two antique calling cards. The person's name was Levi W. Loveland, and I thought Loveland would be perfect for Valentine's Day or Halloween. I pulled out the Lover's card from the Halloween Tarot deck. I thought maybe I can use that as well. Has Dracula, so I think it's kind of great. So I might use that. I have a vintage bingo card, a tag, a vintage doily, and then some vintage writing paper. So like I said, I might pull more from my stash as I start crafting, but this is what I have to start with. Alright, so like I said, I'm going to be using this purple file folder as my journal cover. So the first thing I'm going to do is just score the lines that I'm going to want to use. So next I gotta figure out what size I want to make my junk journal. So I decided to make my journal 5x7. I'm just gonna measure it out here now. I don't know if you can tell, but the spine is creased in 3 ways. So basically I'm going to be sewing the signature in the middle crease, but it is a little flimsy, so I will be strengthening it with some bookbinding tape when we get to that part. So now I'm going to have to decide on which pattern papers and vintage papers I want to use. Expect this part to be sped up a little. Well, I decided to go with this pattern paper from my Black Hearts collection. I'll link all my printables below if you're interested, because I wanted to add a little bit more black into the pattern papers that I selected from my collections, because there's also this pattern here that's black, so I just wanted to bring in some more black to the pages. So I'm going to be using the Tombow mono glue stick. It's my favorite glue stick right now. I'm going to be adding this pattern to the back of that because they're both single-sided. So So here's my progress so far. Of all the vintage book pages I put aside, these are the ones that I've decided not to use in the journal. Maybe I'll use them as scraps or elements to decorate, I'm not sure, but for now I have a few that I have put aside that I might actually use. I'm not sure, but these are my maybe pile. I definitely want to use this Dracula page somehow. I think I have 5 decorative pages. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. Then I have a lot of these that I want to use. Now it's figuring out the placement of the pages and how I want everything to sit. I definitely want to cover this up because it's white. See, this is where those pages come in handy. Because it's such a white space, I can literally just glue this down. And this could be the back of this one side, and then I can cover this with pattern paper as well. So Hi everyone, welcome back. I'm going to be working on the cover a little bit. I'm going to add some of this bookbinding tape on the spine to make it a little bit more sturdy. So first we have the mask, and then this is vintage book paper, and then we have this pattern, and then this is the pocket I still have to glue together. And then for this page I'm going to add pom-pom trim because it's a little shorter. I'm going to add some trim or something to this edge. And then I did a little Frankenstein, I love it, section here, and then I put this here as well because it makes me think of like circuitry and stuff. This is going to be like a side loading pocket, and then a full page I can decorate. And then I did decide to keep Romeo and Juliet, but I don't know, maybe I take it out, we'll see. This Tombow adhesive is amazing. Like, the paper is so thick, like it feels like I didn't glue this together. It feels like this came like this. It's so wild, amazing, so good. It's just, I can't explain it. Like, this doesn't feel like I glued it down with glue stick. It's just so great. Anyway, and then I have this one here. This is the one that I added because I'm like, I have a lot of book pages. I don't have ledger or other type of writing paper in here. So hey everyone, it's a new day and I made some changes. So I decided to recreate the cover completely. I didn't want to cover up the purple and I just wanted to redo it, and I decided that I'm going to be using this fabric that I recently picked up. I'm going to be using this fabric for the cover, and I'm going to use this velvet trim. It matches the pink beautifully. It's like the same color, and I'm going to use this as the closure. So I decided to then just redo the cover. Like I said, I don't want to cover up the purple one that I made, so I recreated another one, and this time I made a bigger spine. I went with 1 inch. I think that's a lot better. So I added all the pages together. I had started making a second signature, and I really liked it. And I even include this pattern paper, and I really liked it, but I feel like it's just too much paper. So I always do that. I always tend to put a lot more than I need, so I just want to be conscious of it. And I decided to go back to the original lighter cream music note pocket that I made. So basically those are the changes, and this is what the journal is going to look like. Now that I figured out the direction, I'm really excited to get started, so I'm going to start working on the cover. So I decided to add another layer of chipboard to the cover just to make it sturdier because the file folder was a little too flimsy. So now it's a little bit more sturdier, and now I'm going to be able to go ahead and glue the cover together. Alright, we're almost done. All that's left is now the inside paper for the cover. This is the state of the cover so far. I added this trim here because the adhesive was kind of seeping through and you saw a little bit of the under cover, and I didn't like that, so I wanted to cover that up with this velvet trim here, and it matches the pink really nicely with the pink here. I think it's just like a lot of pink. Pink is not really my color, so there's just a lot of pink, but I do like the inside. I like the touch of purple that I had to add here. But to make it even, I'm gonna do the same trim on this edge as well. But so far so cute. So here's the cover. I think it turned out really cute. I really like how it looks so far. So for the closure, I'm going to be using this trim. I'm going to wrap it around and have that type of closure instead of making holes on the cover. So this is what it's going to look like for now. Yay! So the last step is to sew in the signature, and I think I'm going to do this part off camera just because this part is a little bit more tricky. Like I want to, it's not hard or anything, I just want to focus and pay attention. I'm just going to be doing a 3-hole pamphlet stitch, really simple, and there's a bunch of tutorials out there on YouTube if you want to check out how to do that. I'm going to be using this purple wax linen thread. I think it matches. So I'll be using this, and I'm just going to use an all punch holes in the signature, then punch holes in the spine, in the center of the spine, and then just sew it together. So here is the finished cover and sewn in journal. It looks really, really cute. So I went back in and I added a heart on the seam, like where the ribbons meet, just because I didn't want that showing. It was a little messy, so I think the hearts look really cute, and I still have to find something to put here because there's a little bit of a scratch on the paper, but overall it looks really cute. Now that the bones of the journal are all done, now the fun part starts. Now we can decorate and create embellishments and just put stuff down on the pages, and I'm really excited for that. So I'll probably break that down into multiple videos, just because you know, creating ephemera could be one video, putting it all together could be another. So next Saturday, part 2 will probably be broken down into separate videos. So you want to make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out. Yeah. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. Thank you so much for watching. And if you're new, please do consider subscribing so you don't miss out on my future videos, and click the notification so you are aware of when I put out videos, but essentially it's every Saturday at 10:10. And yeah, so I'll see you next week for part 2. So I hope you guys are all doing well, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!